Welcome to today's review. Today I'm going to review 10 of my most peculiar watches I have in the collection. The peculiarity could come in so many ways, could come in size, could come in functionality, could come in just how we perceive normal watches to be, and how mine are a bit different from the normal setting of what we understand as watches and how they function. So to start off today's review, I want to start with this piece. This is a piece that I saw online. You know how you see adverts about watches, they keep popping up in your timelines, and you think, why not? Because you first of sort of have a perception that it's a watch you've never seen. You'd like to have something that, because you're a watch lover, you do want to have something like that in your collection. So I decided, why not? Let me get it, and I got it, and I mean, it's one of the most peculiar watches I have, because I'll just show you how and why I think it is. It's called a Nico. It's called a Nico mirror. I don't know much about it. I just know that it's made in China. I don't really know what else the company does. But basically, why it's a peculiar watch is that, first of all, you have to see how the time is presented. So I don't know if you can see it clearly, but on the inner circle, you will see the second hand, or what is the second timer moving. I hope that can be seen. You see something moving, the numbers moving, that is the second, followed by the second outer circle, that is the minute indicator, and then the outer circle is the hour. So you see the three arrows that point towards the center. So basically, the inner circle tell you the second circle will tell you the minute, and the outer circle will tell you the hour. So setting it is always a fun exercise. I will show you. So first of all, it's a beautiful looking watch. There's no doubt about it. From the glass, something I love about especially the black. There's a golden one. I wish I'd gotten that. It's a golden one with the brown. With a brown sort of glass finish. I wish I would have gotten that, but since this one is the one that kept popping, I thought, why not? So it has this a bracelet kind of finish. It's a good finish. The locking system, this locking mechanism, is also a good locking mechanism. I hope you can see. So you just latch into that section and then tie it down. One of the best locking mechanism there is. You can adjust this lock as you wish. You don't need to keep chopping your strap or reducing the strap size of your strap. So the peculiarity, back to the peculiarity, is that when you pull the crown to adjust the minutes, I hope you can see. So the inner part moves while also the outer part moves. So you keep just how you set the normal watch, but this is now numbers, and the only space that you're allowed to view the time, this is the only space, the triangular shape that is here. So I think this is one of the most peculiar watches I have in my collection. I know the others that are a bit madder than this, but this one that I sort of just thought, why not? You know, the watch is not expensive. I think it was just below $50. So I thought, why not? And it's new, the box with the papers and everything. It's Chinese made. I thought I could include this just for the sake of having it in my collection and seeing it how it functions. So I put it on maybe once in a while, but you have to be using it during the daytime. It has no illumination during the dark, so you only depend on the watch only on the daytime. So it's a good watch, kind of an accessory that you can put on. Can be worn by ladies, it can be worn by gents. So this is our opening today for the peculiar watches I have in my collection. And among those watches you just see and then you think, oh, why not? It's not expensive, not costly. The manufacturers are well not known. This is also another Chinese watch. It's called a tubular. Tubular, I think their watches, they do the original pieces, but they are also a watch that draw inspiration. I don't want to use the word copy, but draw inspiration from the bigger brands. They will do a piece that looks like something you've seen, maybe a Panerai you've seen, you know. But again, some of the original pieces like this one, again, one of the most peculiar watches. This one is a bit complicated because it has on the innermost circle, that is where the second hand moves. So I'll just pull it closer. I hope you can see it. Let me hold it. You will see the second hand move on the inner circle, and then immediately after that, there's also the minute hand, and then the outer part. This is now the most complicated because it's both in numbers and in Romans. For example, this is 1 on top, wherever the big arrow is, that is a 1. But when you adjust it, that is a Roman next. and then it goes back to number that is 9, it goes to Roman, that is 8. So first Romans and then the normal number. So setting it again and using it is a bit complicated because the visibility is only, or the time is only dependent on this space that you have here. And the minutes, obviously, that is easy to tell. You don't need the seconds, but the hour mark is where I have a problem with, because the space of view is a bit small, and also the font they use. Like this is a 6, but it looks like a 0. You know, some of these watches just peculiar to just fill the collection. Some numbers are visible, some are not. It's a square watch. Again, not so much, not so pricey, just under $30, I think. I paid for this. It's a beautiful looking watch. But again, you can use it as an accessory. If you're not a person who really cares about the details of a watch, you can use it as an accessory. It's a gray, has a gray finish and some brushed silver, of course. I don't know what to call this, is brushed silver or stainless steel or something. Then it has the straps. I think they put a lot of work in the straps, the aesthetics of the watch, but the functionality not so much. So maybe the creativity is there, but I think they could do better in terms of improving how you could tell time, because the essence of a watch is telling time, and if you can tell time, then it defeats the purpose. So this is our second peculiar watch that we have in the collection. My third peculiar watch is this is the Diesel. Diesel are well-known brand, of course. This is the Mega Chief World Timer. As you stated by the name, this is a world timer, and you will see from the dial there's a lot of writing inside. So the outermost dial, this has numbers that add up to, I think, 12. This is now telling you the time. On the the second circle that follows, that has a number up to 24. This tells you the hours in 24-hour clock. And then the other circle that follows now, that is the name of most of the cities. So the two following circles are name of this. They are written in small font, but these are most cities that I think people rely on time. So I will just run through the cities. There's Milan, there's Moscow, there's Karachi, there's Bangkok, there's Tokyo. That is on the inner circle now. All the way to cities like Auckland, Hawaii. So it has a lot of cities. I've never taken really a lot of time in having to know the number of the cities. The peculiarity is that, of course. Now, it has the normal functionality of a watch, the normal crown you pull to set the time, and you set the date again. So it's a date clock. But again, you would see on the inside there is an orange extra and hand. Now, the hand now tells you 2 p.m. That could be 14. So it has those double references. So it's a bit complicated. I've never really known how to really find the balance between all those two. But the peculiarity is that just how it looks, and again, the functionality. And as I said, the main purpose of this upper dial is just to move the world timer circle. As you see, when I move it, it's moving. To change depending on where you want it to be. Could be any city you want to reference the time. I don't find really the use for that world clock. I've never really used it because, again, it's just how watches are created and how each designer and how each brand thinks their watches will serve a certain purpose or not. But this is what I have, a big size watch. This is a 51 millimeters, quite heavy. Solid metal that has been used to make this watch. Another thing I don't find useful on this watch, again, is this piece of extension that is here. It could be removed. There are screws here to unlatch it. Don't really find the use for it, because not like it hides anything, or but just tells you the name of the watch is a Diesel 10 bar. That is the purpose, I guess, and then just beauty and the ruggedness of each. But this is the peculiarity of the watch. Just how much functions can you have in a watch? I mean, you need the world clock at some point, you need this and that, but I really don't fancy using all that function, but it's a beauty. I look at it and I think the designers had a very good idea. On the inner part, before I finish, it's the map of most of the continents in the world. So it's just a representation. The graphic is really, really good. So I have a few Diesels in my collection. I think on this review, I'll cover 3 of them. But the peculiarity of this, just the size, just the functionality, the ruggedness, and I mean, pointless stuff like having this on the side with no really purpose on it, but they're just to put beauty on the watch. Again, a similarity in looks between the two watches. You can see, again, as I mentioned, the side piece that really doesn't have a purpose. But why I think this watch is peculiar is, again, as diesel would have it, the size is quite massive, it's chunky, and I thought to include it in this review because I feel like they put in so much work in the previous model and really did nothing to this watch. Although it has a chronograph, this is a full chronograph function. And then the colors just pops, the blue and everything just pops, and I love it. And because it's also a chunky watch, something not everybody loves, but I think I'm a fan of chunky watches at this point. So it's a quartz movement chronograph. Other than that, I think the peculiarity comes in how they just put in so much work to design a watch this well and just give it like basic functions, not even an automatic movement, not even just to see the mechanism, just a solid watch, a rugged watch. And I don't know if it really belonged into this series, but because I thought I had a diesel and I've covered one of them, why not cover the others and just show the peculiarity of the diesel design. So diesel, only the Brave, that is their logo, and I think this well suits this category of peculiar watches. So this is the other diesel in the collection. Let me hold it in the right way. No, it's a bit confusing, and this forms now the part of the peculiarity of the watch. This is the diesel DZ4455 series, and the way I'm holding it, you really can't tell where the peculiarity is unless I let you know. So if I hold another watch side to side by it, I'll just try and bring another watch. This is the correct way of having your watch set up. I mean, the crown on this side, plus if you have a chronograph, they should be on this side. But on this watch, it is on the left side. I don't know whether to call it the wrong side or the correct size. I don't know, but it's on this side. So when you're putting on this watch, it's a bit confusing because most people would want to flip the watch and think this is the right direction to put it on. But again, you quickly realize that this is a 6, not a 9, and there's no way the 6 will belong in this side. So the correct way should be the 9 should be this side, and then obviously it tells you the date. It is a chronograph, but you use now the less common ways where you'd have the dials on this side, you'll have the crown on this side. So that is why I thought of including this watch in this peculiarity series. When you put it on your wrist, most of the times this should be on the outside unless you're putting it on the right arm, but the correct way of putting a watch for me is on the left arm. So the dials should be popping out on the right side. So it's a 47 millimeter watch. It is a chronograph, a quartz movement, and just a very heavy chunky watch. And of course it has a rotating bezel. I don't know if you can hear it. That is the rotating bezel function. The bezel has numbers inscribed in it. The numbers go up to 60. So the top of the bezel should be around there. The numbers are not well, but when you look on the inside, you'll see some inscription of the line. So it's silver, brushed silver. It's shiny silver, looking so good. The dark dials, it's blue. Believe me, it's blue. The camera will show it as black, but it's blue, very dark blue, navy blue. Again, another solid watch. The chunky stainless steel strap. Other than that, just a normal functionality watch, but I thought the peculiarity because it has the dials on this side where normal watches would have it on this side. So some of these watches we just buy for the purposes of having them, and you think why it's a unique watch, not everybody has it, and it's not a common watch. Then I thought, why not, let me have it. So the other watch is this watch. Now this you'll have to be patient to know why this is a peculiar watch. This is called the Police Aero watch. The name of the watch is Police, so it's an aero model. The peculiarity of the watch comes in the movement of the second and second. So normally it's a dual time. So on top here, this is a clock, and this is also a clock, and this is the clock. The normal movement of this watch is the normal movement of this watch. So it's an automatic watch, but now the peculiarity comes in the second-hand watch. So you'll have to be patient on this one. So as your normal second-hand watch maybe goes into 360 maneuver all the way from the center back like that. This has 2 split second hand timer. So these are the second, this is the first split, and this is the second split. The first split is 0 to 30, then the second split is 30 to 60. So the peculiarity comes when it's counting the seconds. So for example, now it's moving, it's on the second window. So it's counting from, now the second hand is moving from 40 to 60. So wait to see what it does when it gets to 60. So we'll hold at that. So basically it skips and starts, but this side pauses, and the first part of the second hand movement will take over, and it's a very dramatic experience. So that is the end. So this one jumps into action. It starts counting. It's an automatic movement, so it counts to all the way to 30. When it gets to 30, it will reset to 0. Then the next phase will jump 30 to 60. So I thought of including it in the review because of the peculiarity. I have never seen a watch that has that split second movement, or rather has two second hand movements that are different from, are functioning independently from each other. The mechanization must be a bit hectic for the designers or the engineers, so that as reset, it starts counting again. So the peculiarity, I know the other watches that are you can see the movement or the mechanism inside, that is not so peculiar, but because this has the split second, this is not common. I've never seen this one. Other than that, it's a beautiful timepiece, leather stripes, good material, good finish, and that will be it for that watch. Another of the peculiars is this watch. Now, this is a watch that again, I don't know much to say much about this watch. It is called a Scuderia di Carbono CT022. That is the model. This is a watch that is made out of a material, I would say, it's supposed to be carbon fiber. I don't know, I've never really known the difference between the real and the fake carbon fiber, but it looks beautiful. You could see the weave of the carbon fiber on the inside. So I thought of including this watch because of the peculiarity of where the dials are set. So the dials normally on the watch, as the other ones, are set on this side, but on this watch they are on the top. So when you're putting it on the wrist, they tend to be on the outside of your wrist, so on top. So it has the chrono. So this is how you activate the chrono. As you see, normal quartz movement tells you it's a date watch, but the peculiarity of it, other than the carbon fiber, is how the crown and the activators for the chrono are placed on top. That for me, I thought, why not include it in this series? And again, the finishes here and there, you could see pieces of I think the locking mechanism, and then the split part where the metallic comes to be locked into the carbon fiber. The back also looks so nice. Let me just open it. This is how the back looks like. It's a Swiss-made watch, this one. It has a bit of metallic feel here, solid watch. But the carbon fiber, the camera is not doing it justice. I hope you can see how beautiful it is. It's so beautiful. The weave of the carbon fiber is so beautiful. So I thought, why not including in this series? And again, how the black tends to blend well with the white and the parts of red here and there. I mean, this is a beautiful watch, and the golden touches here and there. And the leather is also solid, although it's a bit worn out. But I like this watch, and I thought of including it in this series. So my next piece in this peculiar series is this Kenneth Cole. I'll open it so that you know why I considered it right away. If I hold it like that, you will see that you will be able to see through the watch, basically, because it's made out of a material that is see-through. The watch mechanism, let me hold it the correct way. The watch mechanism is concentrated on the center here. You have the date, this is the calendar, and the date of the week, and the normal quartz movement. Nothing much about how the watch functions, but rather the peculiarity is how well it's placed in the middle. The only mechanism that is connecting it is obviously the crown movement here, but the other part is see-through. And that's what for me makes it a peculiar watch, and to have it in the collection. I got it online. I saw it online, ordered it online, got it. I thought, why not? It looks well. It looks beautiful, because I don't have any other see-through watch, and I thought this one, I have to include it in the collection. It is a 44 millimeter watch. It's not so big. It's a very light watch, very, very, very light. You could easily forget that you've worn a watch in your wrist. Well, because of the less material that is used. This is also a very light steel material. And other than that, nothing much about the functionality. The straps are okay. I like it. But the see-through function qualifies it to be in this series of the most peculiar watches I have in my collection. Enjoy the see-through before we move on to the next watch. And the last one on my peculiar watches in this series is a watch called the Amitron. The Amitron model number 6P77. Straight away, I'll just jump into the peculiarity. First of all, the watch is chunky. It's quite heavy. A watch is, you'll feel the weight of this as opposed to the watch I reviewed before this, the Kenneth Cole. This is a heavy watch. This requires people who really want heavy watches on their wrist. Otherwise, you'll get bored out of it. You don't really fancy to have a very chunky and heavy watch like this. But the peculiarity, I mean, the designers, I need to have a sitting with one of them to explain to me why was this done. So this is how you open to access the crown. The crown to adjust, basically, it has the day of the week, it has the date, and the 24 hours movement you can tell here. So this is how you access the crown. So my question would be to the designers and anybody who would also want to ask on my behalf, why was this put in this place? Do we have a problem with watches and their crowns getting damaged so that you have to protect it like this? Because this is a solid material. So the only way to access it, first of all, you have to, it's screwed in totally, it's screwed in shut so that you don't adjust your clock without knowing. I don't know why that is possible or why it necessitated that, but because of the designers and everybody have their own ideas, I think that's why I included it in this series as a peculiar watch. So once you set it on the side, now you figure out how to adjust your watch. So you will again open your crown or pull it once or twice to adjust the clock. So adjusting it is okay, but I find that this, because of this tininess of the crown after you've opened the lid, it's a bit of a problem in terms of adjusting it. It's so tiny, so you have to like pinch it to adjust the clock. Okay, it adjusts well and everything else, the functionality is okay. But I thought, why should they have it here? What is the purpose of this? I know each designer has their own ideas. I would want an explanation from the guys who did this watch, why they put this here. Maybe it complements the look because it has a blue dial. Of course, the silver finish and the straps quite chunky, as I mentioned. It's heavy. The locking mechanism is solid. They don't want to mistake you for losing your watch, so you have to know that you've locked it twice. The first authentication, the second one. So quite chunky watch. Nothing fancy about how it's moving. Normal functionality, quartz movement. But this is where I have questions, and this is why I included it in this series as one of the peculiar watches I have in my collection. So as I conclude my review today of the 10 peculiar watches I have a collection, is a tradition of this channel that we have to see what we have on the day. So I'll show you the piece that I'm wearing today. I have this watch. I'll just tell you the name just to show you what I have today. I have a Tissot 1853. This is the football edition. Quite beautiful watch. I'll show you why I think it is a beautiful watch. Okay, normally the black dial, as I said, goes well with a mix of colors, red here, white there. It is a chronograph, tells you the date. But where I like it now comes in the back. It has, I hope you can see it. So there's this engraving of a football, or the leather of a football. And this is where the name comes from. The Tissot is the football edition. The model is T095449A. This is the football edition. Just to show you what I had on today. It has the rubber straps, very comfortable, very relaxed, no pressure on your wrist and everything else. So this is what I had today. Of course, these watches, as we know, we'll review them independently. But today, I was just showing you what I have as we conclude the 10 peculiar watches I have in my collection. So thank you for watching. Thank you for interacting with our videos on YouTube. We also have put our videos in short form in TikTok. We'll put the description on the video so that you can also follow us on TikTok to see what we are doing there. And thank you for the interaction. As promised, we put a video every week. So until next week, see you. Peace out.